welcome to the Divine Constellation podcast. We are Antonio, Jim, and myself, Katharina. And we're happy to be here with you as always. And today we're talking about the topic of vulnerability in leadership. And as the divine timing wants it, I feel very, very vulnerable today. Not just today, but I have been with that for some days now, which is why I chose this topic for today. But this morning, when I was making my coffee and my porridge, my head was telling me I cannot lead today. This is too much. It feels like too much to hold within myself. So how could I possibly lead the podcast today? But here I am, leading, initiating, or opening our conversation and bringing what's alive, bringing what's there. And that lets me exhale already. I don't think I'm going to say a lot about this, but what I discovered the past days was was this thing of claiming my longings and opening my heart to be felt when we're in, or when I'm in the leading position or holding a circle or being present with others. What I do is be present with others or give my attention away. And I want to, and I feel like there was a shift last week of realizing that I'm also bringing myself and letting myself be felt. And that's part of leading and being with other people. It's not pretending like I have it all together and I'm perfect. I'm just gonna, as a machine, do and lead and pretend like I know it all and I have it all together, as I said. But I feel like this is part of my conditioning, and it's also how I've learned to lead myself. And yeah, I feel like there is such a power in actually, and right now it doesn't feel very powerful to me to be in like with that vulnerability, but I know that there is a lot of power in allowing this to be there as well. And yeah,
it's incredible. Thank you for doing this and showing up and doing it anyways.
Thank you.
Can I share a little bit about what we talked about before we started, Katharina?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I came in to the podcast space and asked Katharina how she was, and there was a long space, and then she started talking, and sometimes it's not the talking, it's the space, sometimes it's the space between the notes in music that are more important than the notes themselves. And we started talking a little bit about emotions, and my one of the layers of me wanted to start talking about being when one is emotionally unstable. And that's such a conditioned way of looking at things. Like, why is it that when we're in this vulnerable or emotional state, you're being emotional. Why is it that means something negative? Why does that have to be an instability? I myself love to do my morning practice of where I just sit in whatever it is, whether I'm feeling vulnerable or emotionally outside of my center, or however you want to put it, and just notice how much violence is associated with that. Like one has to be perfect and one has to be strong. As a woman, one must be like this. As a man, one must turn up like this in the world. And I have to be a leader as well. And oh my God, I have to lead. And to be leading, I must be strong. But I love those ones where the leader just says, I'm in pieces today. I can't. I don't. I don't think I can do this, because then it gives the other part of the other people in whatever the situation is, it gives them an opportunity that they didn't get before. And I think it's a really beautiful thing, because often vulnerability comes from a place of empty. I'm vulnerable, therefore I'm empty, therefore I'm coming from a place of emptiness, therefore I'm probably wrong or bad or likely to be taken advantage of. Vulnerability means you can take advantage of me. But what if we learned or allowed a space that's different from that?
Yeah, what I got from what you were sharing, Jim, is that then it's not just about the emotions. We all have emotions, and it's just that's the nature of the human experience. It's like this bandwidth of frequencies that are pretty difficult, but it's not. We are not just that which we are observing. We are that which observes, and the key is in how do we hold those emotions. And if you hold them, like, okay, I've got this today, something's going on, and that's observable, that's manifest. But the deeper I, that is the context, I am holding it with love, and I'm gonna still do what I have to do, and I'm gonna still show up, and I'm gonna still live from a place of courage and integrity, despite the perceptual distortion that these emotions are triggering in me. So even though you had all these thoughts while you were making breakfast, like, oh, I cannot do this today, who am I to do this, or I don't know, like thoughts of instability, of weakness, and yet here you are. So that shows something. It shows that you're not those thoughts, you're not those emotions, you're something actually invulnerable. That despite of the vulnerability that you're observing, what you are is not affected by it.
Yeah.
I think that's the message of showing up with your suffering and saying, yeah, I'm suffering, and here I am.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, and I noticed that about myself, that this voice, or whenever something feels like it's challenging to hold, or whatever that means, or to be with, actually, to be with is better. Then there comes the thought, I cannot do this, and that's actually also the fear, I think, speaking. And I had that many times now, that I noticed when I thought I can't do this, I have to leave, that kind of this flight impulse, that when I stayed with it and opened myself up to it, I could actually do it. And usually there was some kind of a breakthrough, some kind of an opening happening, that maybe my system was afraid of, and thought it cannot stay present to this opening of what's actually there. Yeah.
Yeah, there's that. There are all these strategies that we have inside of ourselves that we've built because of your relationship with your mother or father, or whatever the triggering thing was, and we build all these strategies within us. And I love to sit and see them, because some of them are big, but some of them are little, like this one today. I mean, I don't know how big or little it is, but that, yeah, I have to turn up, and I have to do something, and I should be like this, and maybe I can pretend I'm fine, and then I'll carry on and everything will be all right. but that's a very rigid system. It's a very rigid way of being. And when we allow ourselves, I find, to look at the strategies that we've created for ourselves, some of them are really good and really important and really, really useful. And some of them we start to outgrow them.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can come to a place of, yeah, actually, I'm really feeling awful today. And what an adventure it might be to see, as you've just said, where this takes me if I do it anyway. But not from a place of have to do it and the violence of forcing myself into an old box of it has to look like this and I am the leader, to, yeah, okay, well, I said that I was going to do this thing, but what if I bring a genuineness of the moment to it? Yeah.
How are you feeling now, Katharina?
I'm still, it still feels a little challenging to be present, more than usual, but it feels also soothing to have this conversation because it makes it visible. Yeah, thank you for checking in. I was just thinking that it's actually quite it's a lot of effort energetically to pretend that I'm fine. I guess even like part of me is like showing up in a way. I'm not sitting here like this, or I don't know. I could do that. That would probably, now that I'm doing it, it feels more like this is actually what my body wants to do. But I'm more like I'm present, so I'm kind of like, even this is kind of like a movement of opening up, of showing up.
Yeah.
So I'm not as guarded as I might like want to be. So yeah, those are the little tiny things where it's kind of an effort to do something or to show up, but how can I give myself what I need while still being there? Yeah. So maybe I'll find a position in between.
You're doing this a lot. Do you want to keep your hand there?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Just stay there.
Yeah.
Yes, there is that thing of giving oneself away. No, I don't want to give myself away. But do we ever really actually give ourselves away? I have discussions with all sorts of people about the Buddhist idea that suffering is enlightenment, and no one likes that one. Everyone's like, no, but surely enlightenment doesn't have to be so painful. And there's lots and lots of different layers to suffering as enlightenment. I do find with me when I'm in places like that, and I really do my best in life to never give people advice. And this isn't even me giving advice. This is me just going into my own places of that kind of pain. Is when I'm there, I see that I have options, and how fascinating some of those options can be. And one of the options is, or some of those options are quite kind of damaging towards myself, while some of them give a kind of lightness, give a kind of an honesty that doesn't feel like it has a power, but for the people around me it does, because you're here, you're there. You didn't decide not to turn up today. And not because of the fact that you're powerful or that you did it, or no. However one is feeling, one is still here. No.
I actually feel a lot of warmth. It feels like I'm getting it also from you, Antonio.
I'm doing
Um,
stuff.
yeah, I can feel
I
you
like
doing stuff. He's like, I'm doing stuff.
I'm doing non-local things.
Yeah, I can feel that. Thanks for asking. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
It's not me, really. It's just happening.
I know, I know. Yeah, now I'm thrown up of what I wanted to say. But I was gonna admit to actually there was a part of me that was forcing also. So there was a part of me that was pushing myself to be here. Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's interesting. Like, but I guess if I did, like, if I wasn't able to be here, I would have contacted you guys and said, look, I'm not feeling well. Let's reschedule.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that's kind of like, okay, I can do this, or I want to do this also. And then being here, like finding the balance of pushing myself or like putting myself there, and also then allowing myself to like now receive and just lay back and bring the state that I'm in. Yeah.
This reminds me of I used to work with a personal trainer, and at a certain moment, he told me, okay, now you're gonna do all the pull-ups with some weights. So he put me like this backpack that was really heavy. I was like, it was already difficult to do this. I don't need the backpack, but he put it anyway. And then I trained myself to do pull-ups with added kilos. So it feels like today you wanted to, like from a very deep place, you were kind of like challenging yourself to do that. Like okay, today let's do it in expert mode, which is despite human emotions, I can still hold the space, I can still show up, I can still demonstrate that I'm beyond vulnerability. And that's the whole message, that's the whole thing. We are not vulnerable, spirit is not vulnerable. That which is temporal is vulnerable, but we are coming from a deeper place. You know, this week is Holy Week, and in the Course it explains that the whole point of the crucifixion was not to talk about sacrifice and all these dark interpretations of our sins and God sacrificed his son. No, the real teaching there is Jesus going through this absolute nightmare, like the worst thing that could happen to a human being, you know, like being tortured, humiliated, abandoned, betrayed by his friends, like all of it, and still showing up, doing it willingly, choosing love, choosing to forgive, like staying in the light throughout the whole process. That's the true message, that he's showing us that that level of strength is in you too. You can go through anything and still remain loving.
Yeah, and supple and
Yeah.
and kind of having fun with it and not having to take it so seriously. I was giving a workshop yesterday, and there's a really beautiful quote. If you don't mind, will you let me read a quote? It's quite long. Well, it's not so long. It's just a paragraph by Soren Kierkegaard. And I love this because it says it doesn't really matter what you do. Well, I'll read it because it's just so good. It goes like this: marry and you will regret it. Don't marry and you will also regret it. Marry or don't marry, you will regret it either way. Laugh at the world's foolishness, you will regret it. Weep over it, you will regret it. Laugh at the world's foolishness or weep over it, and you will regret it. Hang yourself, and you will regret it. Do not hang yourself, and you will regret that too. Hang yourself or do not hang yourself, you will regret it either way. Whether you hang yourself or do not hang yourself, you will regret both. So, you know, turn up today and you regret it. Don't turn up today and you'll also regret it. Decide to lead something, decide to stand for something, and you're going to regret it. decide not to stand for something. And all of a sudden, it just makes life incredibly simple and funny, and nothing needs to be taken so seriously. Yeah, of course, we go through difficult things, and it's important, that we're serious in the way we walk through life. But it's also important that we're not serious as we walk through life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a very, very good reminder. I feel like something's clearing now. Sorry. Beautiful noise. It's also human. Yeah. I feel like sometimes I forget about the non-seriousness about them. So I love that you bring it. It's just, yeah. Yeah, just not taking myself so seriously or the moments, and yeah. But that requires a stepping away from it internal, or like connecting more with the one that's observing.
Yeah, exactly.
Than being in the thing and thinking, oh my God, what is happening to me? Yeah. Yeah.
Also remembering the bigger picture, which is like going to the observer. But for example, if you commit to this journey, for example, marriage or this project or whatever it is that has, it's long in time, if it's aligned with the truth, it's gonna be difficult. If it's not aligned with the truth, it's gonna be even more difficult, but it won't even make sense. But, but when you align with truth and you go for it, then there are going to be really challenging moments, because that's the point of it. This point of pursuing truth is that you will let go of those things that are not true within you, and you will face them. And it's good to remember in those moments why you started in the first place.
Yeah.
So that you are not caught up in the little crisis of today, but you see like, oh, this is part of a bigger kind of like purgation process of aligning my mind to higher and higher energies, and to look at that journey as an experiment. This project was from the beginning an experiment, and today we're experimenting. We're in the lab. Like, okay, today I'm going to show up with difficult emotions. Let's see how it goes. What happens, and what will this do to your self-esteem, to the way that you hold yourself? Wow.
Yeah. And isn't that isn't that the whole point of a constellation, of a community, is that each, what's the line of the Nirvana song, come as you are, each person just comes as they are, and but not to be fixed, not maybe things shift and change as they seem to have done over the course of the conversation, but it's a real, genuine group of people coming together and just exploring what's there, and having vision and exploring what might come in the future and what we would like to come in the future, but at the same time, exploring what is as well.
Yeah, coming to be seen.
Yeah, exactly. It
And
feels
being allowed to belong. Sorry, and being allowed to belong, however, whatever you're bringing.
Yeah. Just thought it's so beautiful. Like, I feel much lighter now in my heart space. So whatever happened did work. And I just saw us three, like me in the middle and you two on the side, and it kind of feels like I signed up to lead today, but I'm like surrounded by you two, and I'm being supported and held, and it kind of feels like the image just is like, I'm not alone in doing this, and yeah, and that's what the constellation, or what a constellation coming together is about. I'm not alone with this, and sometimes
and you are seen,
and I'm seen.
You are known.
Yeah.
Your emotions are respected and or honored or held, instead of all of
Mm.
the other much more negative possibilities that go with being in an emotional place.
Mm. Now I don't regret that I showed up. This is very, very powerful and very nourishing, actually, and healing as well. I'm not here to be healed, but it's healing to be in connection, in communion, and that in itself is just, yeah, it's just very powerful. And that was actually one of the things that last week I was in contact with, that there is a huge desire, like a childlike longing to be seen and felt, what is, or which is what is happening right now. And it kind of felt like this longing was so big it could never be filled or um
Yeah.
it cannot be filled, but met in a way. But now that I'm here with you, I realize, yeah, I can. Yeah. And it, yeah, requires me to just show up and be.
Yeah, me
And
too.
come back to us. Because when emotions like that get triggered, there's an identity that doesn't want to be seen. And the
Yeah,
emotions are trying to protect that identity.
yeah,
And then you hide
yeah,
yourself, from others, from God. You just
yeah,
hide
exactly.
yourself in the closet. So it takes an enormous courage, like all the courage to show up, because that means that identity is gonna go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was never that.
Mm.
I'm not a defense mechanism.
Yeah. Thank you both. I feel very blessed right now to have experienced this. Yeah.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
And how amazing would that be if we were actually in a room together, and maybe other people had joined in.
Yeah. To be continued.
Exactly. Great. Wow. Well, thank you very much. I thought, that was
Yeah. Thank you.
really nice, and it also gave me some really nice future possible imagery. So yeah, that was really good. Thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you guys for listening and watching. And if something touched you, if you could feel something resonate in your body, and if there was I noticed that, or acknowledge that in myself as well. If there's anything you'd like to share, please share with us in the comments. We'd love to read and feel you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.